Why didn't she put it on that night? I'll never know.
After years of controversies, it may be too late to speak up, but Lady Sarah McCorquodale has chosen not to be silent. At 60, she seems ready to spill all that happened with her sister, Diana, the Princess of Wales. What does she have to say? Can her revelation change anything and redeem what has been broken? Stay on this video to find out. Beyond a sister, Lady Elizabeth Sarah Lavinia McCorquodale, born on the 19th of March 1955, has dropped the bombshell. After a long time of being silent and staying off the tragic issue with her sister Diana, she has found the bravery to address the questions on the minds of many. In a documentary to honor Princess Diana, Sarah spoke openly about the events that led to Diana's demise. She said she was religious about wearing seat belts. Why didn't she put it on that night? Sarah was also ticked off when people kept saying Diana was injured and expected to make a recovery on the night of the ghastly incident. You might wonder what happened. We understand there's much to unpack. Sit back and relax as we dissect Lady Sarah's life and why she's the focus of rumors surrounding her sister's demise. Sarah McCorquodale is the eldest of 4 children born to a member of the British aristocracy. She was 2 years older than Jane Fellows and 6 years older than Diana. Their parents were John Spencer and Frances Shand Kidd. The Spencer children had their childhood around the royals, as 4 of their grandmothers served as ladies-in-waiting for Queen Elizabeth. Sarah and her siblings grew up in the Park House, a home rented on the Queen's estate at Sandringham. Sarah and Diana had a great relationship. Many believed her younger sister viewed her as a hero. Their relationship with their parents was, however, lopsided. It seemed they couldn't work out their marriage, which ended in separation and divorce in 1969. Their mother, Frances, longed for this freedom as she married Peter Shand Kidd in no time. Spencer, their father, sued for full custody of his children and won. As a result, Sarah, Diana, and the other siblings remained in Park House with their father. They later moved to Althorp after the death of their grandfather, the 7th Earl Spencer. Sarah received the title of Lady when her father was made the Earl. He found love and married Rain, Countess of Dartmouth. This decision was unfavorable for the Spencer children, as there was tension between them and their stepmother for many years. Sarah filled the gap in Diana's life and helped her navigate the changes of welcoming a new mother. Although Diana confessed to resenting her stepmother and having an unstable childhood, Sarah did her best to support her. How could Sarah have led Diana down a dark path if she's always wanted her best interest? What did Sarah do to her sister? A push off the cliff. Before Diana became the most talked about individual in history, she was a simple girl. Let's briefly examine Diana's early days to help you understand. Did you know she was homeschooled and under the watch of her governess, Gertrude Allen? Diana only began formal education when her father thought she was safe to look out for herself. She started at Silfield Private School in Norfolk and later went to Riddlesworth Hall, an all-girls boarding school. At the age of 9, Diana was later allowed to join her sisters at West Heath Girls' School in Sevenoaks. There, she learned to build charisma and became one of the awardees for outstanding community spirit. After completing her education at 16, Diana wanted to try everything. She had an interest in music and became a skilled pianist. She also enjoyed swimming. Best of all, Diana studied ballet and tap dance. She's been seen humorously saying that if she never had a life as a princess, she'd have loved to be a dancer. As far as we could tell, her life was blooming, and Diana wasn't afraid to explore the world as she moved to London. She once spoke about sharing a flat with other girls while learning to take life as it came. There were rumors that Diana took roles as a nanny, dance instructor for youth, a playgroup preschool assistant, and even a hostess at parties. Diana was spectacular and could quickly adapt to her new life in London. Her most popular job was as a nursery teacher's assistant at the Young England School in Pimlico. Diana briefly lived with Sarah. It was during this time that Prince Charles came into the picture. Sarah introduced the prince and Diana while visiting the Spencer family home in Althorp. This happened in 1977 when Diana was 16 and Charles 29 years old. The prince was there for a pheasant hunt, and Diana remembers them meeting in the middle of a plowed field. According to an article in the Daily Times, when Charles looked at her, he thought she would make a suitable bride and a future queen, while Diana was mesmerized by the young prince. Before meeting Diana, Charles was known for his numerous romantic relationships. Here's a shocker: Prince Charles wasn't a new suitor for the Spencer family. You might be wondering who else he had eyes for, except Diana. It's Diana's older sister, Sarah. Lady Sarah once dated Prince Charles before his involvement with Diana. They dated, but she wasn't impressed by Prince Charles. Sarah reportedly told Time magazine in 1978, "There is no chance of my marrying him. I'm not in love with him, and I wouldn't marry anyone I didn't love, whether he was the dustman or the King of England." This information wasn't a problem for 19-year-old Diana, who thought he was in love with her as much as she was with him. In 1981, they began dating in 1980, and it took them 13 meetings before their engagement and wedding were announced. Diana first denied the rumor of their engagement until they were ready to give a formal disclosure. Everyone was happy for the new couple as Queen Elizabeth II took a liking to Diana. Sarah also approved of her sister's relationship with the future monarch. After her engagement, she quit as a nursery teacher's assistant and temporarily lived at the Queen Mother's residence, Clarence House. Later, she resided at Buckingham Palace, and the wedding on July in 1981. Their wedding occurred at St. Paul's Cathedral. It was one of the most attended events in history. Over 750 million people viewed their fairy tale wedding on television. Thousands of spectators went to the streets, hoping to glimpse the couple as they passed. After their marriage, the new bride became the Princess of Wales. The public immediately received her as she carried out her royal duties. On many occasions, she stood on behalf of the Queen. One such event was her appearance at the Commonwealth functions. Many thought Diana was a shy princess, but charming and magnetic. She had a heart for charity work and focused her energy on helping others. Among the numerous causes Diana embarked on, her role in campaigning against the stigma of AIDS patients caught the attention of many. The Princess of Wales was seen touching AIDS patients and being kind to them, so she could change the narrative many had back in the day about the disease. By partnering with the International Red Cross, she also advocated for the removal of landmines. To the princess, charity was not a duty, it was her purpose. Her friendliness, smile, and composure earned her the affection of many. She wasn't just the Princess of Wales, but the Princess of Hearts. Diana wasn't a pretty lady who waited around to be served. She was a woman who loved to be hands-on. You might wonder where her sister was as Diana joined the royal family. When Charles and Diana got engaged, Sarah married Neil McCorkdale, with whom she shares 3 children, George, Emily, and Celia. Sarah and the princess maintained a close relationship after her marriage to Charles. She was also involved in royal affairs. She sometimes accompanied Diana on official trips as her lady-in-waiting. One such trip was the royal visit to Nepal in 1993. Although she stayed out of the spotlight in the couple's marriage, she was present in her sister's life. Sarah lived with her family in Grantham, Lincolnshire, where she served for a year as High Sheriff of Lincolnshire. Princess Diana was living the life, as many would think. So, what went wrong? Was there more to Sarah's refusal of Prince Charles? Did she find out something nasty about the prince? If she did, why didn't she warn her younger sister? Was it the reason many believe she led Diana off the cliff? The other woman in Diana's inner conflicts, along with the pressure on Diana's young shoulders, were overwhelming. She had to deal with her husband's longtime mistress, Camilla Parker. She was romantically involved with Prince Charles. There were rumors that it had happened before and during their marriage. It seemed everyone knew about this affair, which led Diana to pick up on Charles's existing history. The princess began to put things in perspective, and it was one of the most difficult pills she had to swallow. Charles wasn't in love with her as she had thought. It was at this moment his statement made sense to her. Charles's response to a question they were both asked during their early marriage threw everyone off, including Diana. The interviewer asked him if they were in love, and while Diana said a quick and happy yes, Charles responded, "Whatever love means." It was strange, but only now did the princess understand. She was not the only woman in Charles's life. The Princess of Wales was a brave woman, but nothing ever prepares you for the spotlight that comes with being in the royal family. She had to take on her duties and learn on the job. Diana was slowly warming her way into people's hearts with her frequent appearances at functions. She was known to be soft-hearted, but Diana knew when to take a stand if needed. She was one of the most photographed individuals, as many couldn't get enough of her beauty and iconic fashion. In the public eye, the princess was having the time of her life and doing her royal duties without hassle. But off the camera lights and glorious functions, something was different about Diana. She was lonely. Diana had many fears. She was the first English woman to marry the first in line to the throne since and Hyde married James, Duke of York, over 300 years earlier. Diana was also the first royal bride to get a job before her engagement. She was grateful for these honors, but the princess wanted a simple life full of love, which she lacked. She felt inadequate. Her relationship with Prince Charles grew apart with their marital issues. For many years, Diana struggled with postnatal depression, low self-esteem, and pressure to live up to the role of the Princess of Wales. I didn't like myself. I was ashamed that I couldn't cope with the pressures. What did you actually do? Well, I just hurt my arms and my legs, she said. She felt compelled to perform even on her sad days. In a television interview, the princess spoke about the unhappiness of her personal life and the demands of her royal duties. I felt compelled to perform. When I say perform, I was compelled to go out and do my engagements and not let people down. Princess Diana admitted to having bulimia, a severe eating disorder. Although the princess looked perfect in the paparazzi pictures, she was losing it indoors. They think, "'Cause you're in the media all the time you've got enough attention," she said. But I was actually crying out, because I wanted to get better in order to go forward and continue my duty and my role. The media didn't help matters, as it became news that the princess had a personality disorder. Was no one present to help the princess at this trying time? Was she left to wallow in pain? Sarah resurfaces as Diana's savior. Many would think Sarah had a secret vendetta or perhaps tormented her sister for having the popularity she never had. But that's quite the opposite. Sarah was indeed a sister, as she stepped into her big sister's pain when Diana was in distress. She stayed true to the love and friendship they shared. However, Diana was about to lose that title by a decision of bravery. It might have been treachery. To the royal family, Diana was unstoppable when she set her mind on something, and they knew this. She couldn't take it anymore after tolerating Prince Charles's affairs for many years. This wasn't news to the public or their well-wishers, who thought they looked like a wonderful couple. They began to see how Princess Diana and Prince Charles's marriage might have been a terrible idea. Aside from the age difference, one could see how incompatible they were. At this point, they had nothing to hide. In 1986, there were rumors that Charles and Diana had begun seeing different men. We don't have to think too far about who the prince was involved with. It's always been Camilla for Prince Charles. It might also have been the same negligence that pushed Diana into these rumored affairs. Reports said the princess was in a relationship with the royal family's riding instructor, James Hewitt. This rumor blew up so badly that people began to think he was the father of little Harry. Many alleged they had a physical resemblance. Hewitt and others have denied the rumor as fake and unimaginable. Hewitt couldn't be Harry's father, as he was born 2 years before Hewitt and Diana's alleged affair. Charles and Diana grew apart with their evident discomfort around each other. At this point, the princess didn't have the cute smile she wore when asked if they were in love. You could tell the couple was in a loveless marriage, as they both looked unhappy. One would think the princess sat back without confronting Prince Charles's rumored lover. Everyone in the palace knew what was happening with the prince and Camilla, but it surprised the few who saw the princess confront her husband's lover at Camilla Parker Bowles' sister's party in 1987. The princess did something out of character. She had a word with Camilla about her and Charles's extramarital affairs. Diana told Camilla she was aware of the relationship with her husband. That should have thrown Camilla off balance. However, in a later released tape of the princess, she said Camilla replied, "You have 2 sons. How does that feel?" What a strange way to respond when caught in the act. It wasn't a secret affair, so perhaps Camilla wanted the princess to get on board and accept it. In 1992, Andrew Morton published a book. You'd wonder why this book drew attention and what business it had to do with the royals. Hold on fast, because you're not expecting this. The title of Andrew's book was Diana, Her True Story. It already says a lot without knowing the content of this book. What could Andrew Morton say about the princess that the world didn't know? Shocking details from the book show that Diana had contemplated taking her life on many occasions. The speculations in Andrew's book caused a media outrage. Everyone knew Princess Diana was unhappy, but not to the extent of taking her life. People couldn't accept this, but the new information made it difficult. When no one listens to you, or you feel no one's listening to you, all sorts of things start happening. For instance, you have so much pain inside yourself that you try and hurt yourself on the outside because you want help, but it's the wrong help you're asking for. Details from alleged secret interviews with the princess showed she was going through a rough patch in her marriage. Although Diana and Andrew denied her direct assistance with writing the book, many couldn't take lightly the contents he'd exposed to the world. Andrew said he got information from her family and friends. Shouldn't they also know what's going on with the princess? These reasons and many more made the public skeptical about Diana's denial of Andrew's stories about her life. The Queen and Prince Philip tried to intervene and correct the young couple. The royals were unpleased by the bad media. They set up a meeting between Charles and Diana, but couldn't bring them to reconcile. The royal family seemed to enjoy writing letters, and what would soon follow was a series of letters from Prince Philip to Princess Diana. Like everyone in the royal family, Philip was disappointed at Diana and Charles's conduct regarding their marriage issues and rumored affairs. We would never know whether the princess found his letters provocative, as she always responded in appreciation for his goodwill towards her family. Many thought she had a tense relationship with Prince Philip, while others saw nothing of it. To clear the air, Prince Philip issued a public statement in his letters to deny the allegations that he disrespected or was vindictive to Diana. This was yet another issue for the princess, but she didn't have the time as the greatest scandal in their marriage hit the world. Leaked tapes of telephone conversations between Charles and Camilla became public in November 1992. The recordings were fondly called Camillagate for the wrong reasons. Charles could be heard saying intimate words that should only be said in private to Diana. If Diana had no proof before, it was now open for the world to see. Prince Charles's illicit affair with Camilla became the talk of the town when this rather strange news, unbefitting for the royal family, struck out. The disturbing contents of the tape spread like wildfire and made headlines in the tabloids. Amid the rumors, Charles tried to clear the air in a television interview with Jonathan Dimbleby on June 29, 1994. The prince said he only got back with Camilla in 1986, when his marriage to Diana had irretrievably broken down. Charles's confession earned him more backlash than he expected. Many criticized his relationship with Camilla while he was still married to the princess. Diana was also not out of the hook, as many thought a videotape recorded of Diana by Peter Settlein also came to light. The princess hired Settlein as her voice coach between 1992 and 1993. It appeared Settlein was doing more than building Diana's public speaking voice. He also acted as a confidant, as the princess was seen in the videos talking about issues beyond voice coaching. She spoke about her marriage and admitted that she was deeply in love with someone from 1984 to 1986. We all know to take the princess seriously when she openly announces her interest in someone. You won't doubt that her declaration of love for Prince Charles as a teenager got her here. However, Diana doesn't discuss the man she married in this tape. She was talking about someone who also worked in the royal family. Diana said she was quite happy to give it up and got off with this person. In Diana's words, her love interest was chucked out from his role as her bodyguard. It appeared people had suspected their blooming connection, which led to his transfer. Diana described him as one of her good friends but never agreed to be in a romantic relationship with him. Perhaps the princess still had some love for Prince Charles after his public disrespect of their marriage. Diana also spoke about the prince's ill treatment in their marriage. She said, "He made me feel so inadequate in every possible way that each time I came up for air, he pushed me down again." With all this information and speculations in the public, it was clear that the once fairy tale relationship was sinking. The princess was linked to many other unconfirmed affairs. Perhaps the princess was tired of always making statements to refute the claims that she just let the public think what they would about her personal life. Diana didn't only blame Camilla for her marriage failure. There were rumors that she believed Charles was involved with other women. It seemed the princess had incited that in her letter to her favorite butler, Paul Burrell, on October 1993. She would even reveal more shocking details to Paul through writing. Stay tuned to find out. The kingdom's future is considered before someone engages or marries into the royal family. It seemed Diana's and Charles's marriage was causing too much stress to the royal kingdom. The royals were known to live quiet lives. By quiet, they didn't enjoy unnecessary drama, but it seemed Charles and Diana differed from the decorum they've maintained for years. Diana and Charles became the most controversial members of the royal family, with daily updates about their relationship being publicized. In a few years, the prestigious family had been in the spotlight for the wrong reasons, and it had little to do with the state of affairs. It was all rumored affairs between the Prince and Princess of Wales. Charles and Diana both took media hits, denting their reputation in marriage. Were some of the claims true? We'll find out as the story unfolds. but Princess Diana was often seen releasing statements to refute the outrageous rumors about her infidelity. The princess clearly stated that she had not chosen the path Charles did with Camilla. It, however, didn't change much for the insiders who witnessed their marriage. In a twist of events, Buckingham Palace announced that the Queen had sent letters to Charles and Diana advising them to divorce. According to BBC, the discussion was held for 2 weeks, after which a letter was sent to the couple. Prime Minister John Major and senior counselors backed the Queen's move. Prince Charles didn't have a problem, as he agreed to the divorce in a written statement in February 1996. Princess Diana followed suit after speaking with Charles and the Queen's representatives. She announced her agreement to the divorce and her terms. The couple finalized their divorce from July to August of the same year. Although Diana remained the Princess of Wales, she was no longer to be called Her Royal Highness. The couple shared custody over their children, and Diana received a settlement of £17 million. She was also to be paid £4,000 yearly. Charles and Diana signed a non-disclosure agreement that restrained them from sharing details about their divorce or married life. The princess still received respect as the mother of the prince. After her divorce, Diana retained the double apartment on the north side of Kensington Palace. She also had access to royal security, the Metropolitan Police's Royalty Protection Group, which she benefited from while traveling with her sons, but she refused it after the divorce in an attempt to cut ties with the royal family. Princess Diana might have given up on her marriage with Charles, but she didn't desert the people whose hearts she had found a home with. She kept her public profile and resumed her charity work. She focused on patients with mental illnesses and helped them improve. She also had many hospital visits with her sons, William and Harry. She wanted them to be in touch with the realities of the world by showing them that many were less privileged. Everyone couldn't stop admiring Diana for her compassion, humility, and warmth. They were surprised at how fast she picked herself up after exiting the royal family. It was clear that Diana was not a princess because she was associated with the royal family. Diana was settling down, so she thought of giving love a chance. Sadly, one of the final decisions led to Diana's demise. She accepted a visitation to France by her companion, Dodi Fayed, in what was meant to be a time for relaxation. On August 31, 1997, Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed were involved in an automobile accident in a tunnel in Paris. They were trying to get away from the paparazzi, who pursued them relentlessly when the accident happened. Dodi and Henry Paul, their driver, were instantly confirmed to have lost their lives. However, the princess was badly injured but responsive until the ambulance arrived. She made it to the hospital, but was confirmed late at 6 a.m. the next day. It was shocking news for the whole world. The people's princess was no more. Many couldn't believe her demise. Lady Sarah and Jane Fellows traveled with Prince Charles to France, where they retrieved Diana's body. The vibrant 36-year-old had her life cut abruptly. Sarah was one of the few people Diana trusted during those complicated years. She was often seen with her nephews, Princes William and Harry, out and about in London. The two sisters often brought their children on vacation. It was heartbreaking for Sarah to witness this tragedy. She contributed to the readings at Diana's funeral. Lady Sarah was also co-executive of Diana's will and president of the Diana Princess of Wales Memorial Fund. Do you remember Diana's butler? One of his letters from Diana revealed the unthinkable. It was alleged that the princess thought Charles was planning to end her life so there could be a clear path for him to marry. She also predicted her death as she feared their cat had a bug. Of course, many would think she was paranoid and, bottom line, obsessed. We're not sure how the butler reacted to the content of this letter from the princess, but it might have thrown him into deep thought. Why would Prince Charles need to take her life before he got married? She was no longer in his way, so what could she possibly mean? Controversies around the Princess of Wales arose as many raised questions after her death, believing it was a planned attack. Dodi's father alleged that his son and Diana were murdered, as nothing was natural about their accident. There were controversies that Diana was under America's surveillance. In an inquest set up to investigate the demise of the princess, her sister Sarah was probed, and she said Diana phoned her from Al Fayed's luxury yacht to express her fear that she was under surveillance. She thought the boat was being bugged by Mr. Al Fayed Sr. Lady Sarah said others thought MI6 was involved in the accident, while some believed those chasing the princess and her lover were not ordinary paparazzi. Princess Diana's bodyguard was not left out of the probe, but he claimed to have amnesia after the incident, so he couldn't remember any helpful details. They also spoke about the driver, Henry Paul. There were controversies that he was under the influence of alcohol and illicit substances. The inquest later ruled that no foul play led to the incident on August 1997, but Henry Paul's recklessness caused the death of Princess Diana and Dodi Fayed. The case has been closed for a long time, but there is no doubt that the princess threatened people in high power. We will never know what happened that night, as it remains a mystery. When Sarah outrightly decided that Prince Charles wasn't the best fit for her, perhaps she should have realized how that could also apply to her sister, Diana. If Sarah could turn back the hands of time, she would have made better choices and never introduced them. Diana was a strong and generous woman who lived a sad life. She deserved love for the magnitude of affection she showed to others. It seems she spent years trying to be adequate. Being next in line as the future queen is a big shoe to fill, but it shouldn't have translated to the dark path of the lovely princess. Her beauty, captivating smile, and generosity remained deeply in the hearts of many. The world might miss her presence, but you know who does more? Prince William and Prince Harry. They experienced a deeper love from the princess behind the camera. She was not only a mother, but one who dared to raise her children in ways termed unconventional for the royals. She didn't miss an opportunity to be in their lives, even with a busy charity cause. She helped them see a world outside the palace walls, and they understood what a normal life looked like beyond royal titles. 20 years later, her children, Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Prince William, the Prince of Wales, kept her memories alive as they visited her graveside. They held many memorials and concerts in honor of their late mother. Prince Charles has long moved on to marry his longtime lover, Camilla. They are presently the Queen and King of England after Queen Elizabeth passed on in 2022. Yearly, many pay tribute to the lovely Princess Diana. She may be gone, but her love remains fresh in the hearts of many. What do you think about Princess Diana and Sarah's revelation? Share your thoughts in the comments.